Good everyone, today's video. Today we have a subscriber request by Mr. Asmund Mosseng for the SU-85M. Now, when I actually started spading the Russian tank destroyers, this was like the first SU-85 I enjoyed quite a bit because of its punchy gun. And the SU-85M basically just took that and improved it, which is what I liked even more. Now, in terms of raw penetration, we don't really gain anything. We just gain an APCR round, and let's be realistic, who uses APCR? The real difference that makes a key difference on the SU-85M is the armor. Now, nowadays, it's going to struggle. If we just go to the penetration analysis, and we go to the M4A276, at close range, they may just have the punch to get through the upper frontal plate. And obviously, we have the weak spot of the driver's port, which we're gonna have to watch. But that's weird, isn't it? That's a bit of a bug. But the upper plate is actually pretty strong, and if we angle it, it's even stronger. Now, obviously, we're gonna have to watch our side because, well, it's only 45 millimeters, and the lower glacis is still 45. So anything with a sufficiently powerful gun will probably be able to pen this. Panthers and Tigers have a good chance of penning this upper frontal plate, and obviously if they hit the driver's port, we're going to have a bit of a problem. But playing the SU-85 when I spaded it, obviously I still need skins on this thing, so I actually have to thank you, Asmund Mosseng, you actually reminded me about this thing. So you never know, you might get a bonus video of me actually playing this thing, because, well, I haven't done a skin grind episode in quite a bit. But yeah, this is a tank destroyer that I very much respect, and it's certainly a tank destroyer that I would recommend people play. Additionally, it's also got access to probably one of the most powerful lineups, that being 5.3 Russia. You've got the IS-1, the T-3485D5T, you've then got stuff like the ZSU, you can maybe bring the PT-76 if you're a fan of that tank, which I am, I quite like it. And then you've got pretty good aircraft in the form of an I-185M71. You've also got the SU-6 and the IL-10s, etc., etc. But this is a pretty solid request. Now, obviously, nowadays we're going to be seeing tanks such as Sweden, and obviously we're probably going to get up-tiered as well. We're probably going to be seeing stuff like King Tigers, but only the Porsche turret, which we can easily handle. However, the Long 88 will cut through us like a hot knife through butter, even if we do angle. So we're going to have to play this thing very carefully. But hey, I'm always up for a challenge. The last time I drove the SU-85 would have been back in 2018 when I actually spaded the thing. Because originally I ignored it because I thought there's not much to improve it on. And to be honest, why would I want to play a tank destroyer which doesn't really improve much and sits at 5.3? And yes, we are up-tiered. But it actually turned out to not be the case, and I actually had a lot of fun spading it. So, yeah. But, to be honest, I don't mind it. So, we'll just have to see how we do. Right, so with us being in a full up tier, we're against the Germans and the Italians, we're going to have to be very careful. We also have a weak spot on the top right of the vehicle. Thanks for cutting me up, knobhead. I mean, you have a turret, and I don't, and yet you don't give consideration to the tank destroyer. Anyways, I was saying, that weak spot, that cupola, is actually rather detrimental to this vehicle. A lot of players actually aim for it, and luckily we've got the Swedes on our team, so that's hopeful. But as you can see, when you get up to it, there's a tank destroyer that basically makes you look irrelevant. I mean, that SU-100 is basically this thing with a bigger gun. I haven't actually played the SU-100 yet, might have to. But with the fact that we've only got 3 degrees of gun depression as well, we're going to have to be very careful with that. And look, there's a Panther already. Let's go for just a random shot there. That was never going to hit, I just thought I'd try it anyway. And look, Panther just ripped the head off of that guy. looks like we've got a rock just to the left of that or the right of that panther, so I can't really hit him. Let's go there. Oh, my aim's shit with the 85. I need him to pull forward just a little bit more. As you can see, the problem is we have now is the fact that... Hold on, he's pulling out, but I won't be able to get a clear shot. Go for there. Nope, missed that one. This is the trouble with playing this tank destroyer, is that you're up against much greater competition. Which you can see those Panzer 470s are just ripping my team apart. They can rip me apart, but yet my 85 will barely be able to punch through them. And you can see what I mean, there's just that many enemy tanks down here. And because this is a conquest, you can't really flank without getting smoked. Right. Jumbo, you have a 76 and you've got jumbo levels of armor. Come on. Let alone, why are you even positioning your vehicle like that? Right, well, let's hope he actually has a thing called brain cells and actually watches my back as well. Allied teammates don't tend to do that. Yeah, and there's a guy up there, I can see his radio antenna. What we can do is, I like to use this sort of spot. Chris, take note again. I hope you've got your notebook out. But this is a spot I like to use. And the T-34 appears to be following me through here. Which is annoying, but you can sit your gun through here. Or alternatively, you could just drive around a rock, and if you shut your engine off, like this, so the jumbo's not even paying attention. Right, well, the jumbo's not paying attention, however, he might make sufficient bait. Oh, what are you doing, you donut? Come on. So the jumbo's just not paying any attention. Jumbo, what are you doing? There's nothing down there. Yeah, see, look, Panzer 470. And his gun will slice through me like a hot knife through butter. Right, we're gonna get potentially side shot here, so we're gonna turn the armor around. That is a Tiger. I mean, I did hit it, but just not very well. And look, that's the problem, we just can't punch through him. And he went for the gun barrel. Typical. That's what a lot of German players do when they can't really pen your armor at the angle you're at. They go for the gun barrel. Alright, come on. Come on, I need to fix this thing. We've got a banana peel situation. 23 seconds on repair. Yeah, he didn't even try to go for the frontal plate, which I think he could actually pen at that sort of angle. He just went straight for the gun barrel. And look, this absolute potato in his T-3045, I'm willing to bet he's an absolute muppet. What's his name? Boo Voodoo. Yep, shouldn't even be in that tank. Shouldn't even be in that tank. I didn't get my first target until I was like level 40 odd. I know it's in the T-3045 and it's entirely different from a Tiger, but the point still stands. We've got more bigger fish to fry, I'm afraid. Well, if you want to go first, Mr. PT-76, I will gladly take that, but... Hello, Mr. Panzer 470. Go on, I'm trying to turn here. I'm gonna have to blind shot this one. Yep, there we go. I had to do that outside a gun sight there. Oh my giddy heart. Seriously? Yep, he went straight for the UFP. Like I thought he would. And, well, that's the end of that. good as the armor on this thing is, and that PT-76 died anyway, didn't exactly do it. As good as the armor on this thing is, it ain't stopped a Panther shell. Anyway, I'll see you all in Game 2. Well, Game 2, and we're on Normandy, another freaking conquest. I've had so many conquest maps recently. First game didn't go particularly great, and again, full up to you. Would be nice if we didn't have absolute donuts for teammates, but that's just the way it is, unfortunately. I mean, the Panzer 470 did what I would have done. I would have gone for the SU-85 first, because, well, it's an SU-85. It's far more dangerous than a bloody PT-76. But hey, it just means that I've got to clearly think about where my tank is going to be positioned. To be fair, I've never actually tried that spot where he was, so I'm going to have to give that one a go. See, look, I'm considerate. I gave way to the right. That's the driving rule here, by the way. It's when you're approaching a roundabout, you have to give way to the right, or a junction in general. All right. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and support the team. Well, we're going to try and get this frontal plate pointing towards the enemy as best we can. Typically for this, I normally tend to go over here. Over against the Germans and the Swedes. And if we're fully up-tiered, I don't know what the Swedes are packing. I know they've got the stuff like the De La Torn. But other than that, I don't really know what they have. I'm not that far into Sweden yet. I'm researching, I think, the PBKV-M43, the 1946 tank destroyer. But yeah, this is really where you want to position your sort of SU-85. Your lower plate's covered. You've got gun depression, which is quite bad, but you can still work most of this area. But at the same time, you can keep your frontal plate towards the enemy. Obviously, you're going to have to watch your left, and hello, Jumbo. Typically, you're going to want to watch your left, and see, look, there's a Tiger. Tigers are quite hard in an SU-85M, but you can deal with them rather effectively. Just, they tend to have a lot more armor than you do. Because they're a Tiger, they're kind of designed to do that. So we're going to let the Jumbo drag him out, shall we say. And there's a Panther with him as well, so... The Panther is probably the more important foe. Now you can see I'm having to use binos a lot because of the positioning of the vehicle. It's quite low. So that's the Tiger dealt with. Like I said, I'd want to primarily deal with a Panther first because the Panther can actually punch through my front plate. That was a cheap shot, that failed. Reload's failing me here. Can we pull forward and potentially get a shot? Come on, just back up a little bit, you little shit. Well, I say little, and yet he's double the size of my tank. Come on. Thank you. What's over there? Nothing at the moment. There is that Jagdpanzer 4, and the Jagdpanzer 4 really will struggle to penetrate our armor. Alright, I'm just gonna mark it for the team. Oh, thank you, Mr. T-3045. Was that friendly? Yes, it was. It was IS-1. That looks like another Tiger just coming out there. Yep, there's another Tiger there. Yep, you've seen us. Angle the front. See what I mean? This thing's got pretty good armor. If you angle the front, Tigers will struggle. That was a Nashorn that took a shot at us then. The only trouble you'll notice we're now having is the fact that this vehicle is quite short. It's a tank destroyer. It's not exactly meant to be a frontline sort of tank. Right, wasn't aiming for that, but okay. Now he can just breach us if he wants to be that kind of guy. But at the same time... I missed that one. Couldn't see because of the smoke. And look, the armor's holding here. Which is surprising, given that it's a Probable new player. By the way, that's a pretty handy weak spot on a Tiger if you go for the commander's hatch. Pretty handy, to be fair. Right, how's the right looking? Not great, is all I will say. We've got a Panzer 470, we've got another Tiger pushing down there. This is not looking good. This is not looking good. And the trouble is, the one thing that the SU-85 lacks is smoke. So we're in a bit of a pickle here. And I'm not going to say Pickle Rick for those Rick and Morty fans, but... Wait, I just did. There you are. Alright, you're annoying. Oh god, that's not a flipping what I thought it was. That's a Jagdpanther. Now a Jagdpanther is one of the larger fish to fry, and the problem is we don't have a big enough fryer. The 85 can crack it, but... Come on, take the shot. Or I bait you, that's fine. Oh, that's a big gun. That's a big gun. I don't know how we just bounced that, but... Alright, transmission's out on him. He's going to go right through my front plate if I'm not careful. Oh no, this is going to hurt. Yep. Oh, that hurt. That was painful. My left track got stuck on the stairs there, so I couldn't really move. And there you go. Long 88 straight through the front. That gun is pretty much the only gun at this battle rating that you're going to see that the SU-85's armor ain't going to stop. But not bad. I mean, 3 kills to say I've driven this thing quite some time. We could have certainly played that a bit better, I think. But, hey ho. I mean, we was pinned down pretty hard, and it's a Jagdpanther. You can't really pen the front of a Jagdpanther. And as you also saw, he was paying to win with those bushes, so yeah. But hey, not too bad with the result there. We did okay. The SU-85 is certainly worth your time, or the SU-85M, I should say. You just have to be a bit more careful with it. You can't be as aggressive as I was, as you will see, it doesn't end particularly well. But honestly, try angling this thing's armor against a Tiger, and you saw we bounced quite a few shots. But obviously, the 2 primary weak spots are going to be the gun mantlet. Well, this is more of a rarely shot place because there is additional armor on top of it. But the main 2 weak spots are the driver's port, which is pretty flat, and the commander's hatch. These are 2 locations where you're going to want to be careful. But other than that, I'm pretty happy about it. I mean, that was a good result. We got a couple of kills in there, and you saw the effectiveness of the 85 and the ineffectiveness of the 85 against the Jagdpanther, because, well, you're not really doing much with an 85 from the front with that thing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all on the next one.